Hi, my name is Amanda Watkins, and for my final paper and presentation, I decided to concentrate on culture camps with the Native Alaskan Indians. I concentrated on the village of Huslia, which is the majority home of the Athabascan Indians. I have a couple pictures that I found online um, that are Athabascans, will represent Athabascans and Huslia. Culture camps. Over the course of the semester, I've taken an interest in learning about various different types of culture camps in different rural villages of Alaska. I feel culture and traditions of the indigenous peoples of Alaska are incredibly interesting, to say the least. Preserving these cultures are extremely important to all Alaskan Native tribes. Gaining the knowledge of all the historic trauma Alaskan Indians have endured and the impact it has on today's generation is heartbreaking. Culture camps are one of the few opportunities Alaskan Indians have left in passing down what is left of their traditions to their youth. Some individuals made the decision to leave home, but some were forced. Over the years, evolution will take place naturally in changing traditions, but Alaskan Indians, educators, and anthropologists can work together in preserving their historic culture. Culture camps are a way for elders of a tribe to pass down knowledge, traditions, and stories to their youth. Culture camps are in some ways similar to Indian education. Indian education is when a female elder comes into the school to educate the youth about traditional knowledge, such as beading, for example. I learned about Indian education through the family I had the opportunity to speak with and doing my research for about culture camps. And in the school in Huslia, they have an hour where they have Indian education, and an elder, a female elder, will come in and share stories about the past, about their ancestors, teach beading, and things like that. Huslia is an Athabascan tribe that speak Koyukon Athabascan. Huslia is located along the Koyukon River, north of the Arctic Circle and northwest of Fairbanks. Huslia has a population of 275 people. Huslia puts forth great effort in preserving their traditions of their ancestors. Elders of Huslia host various different types of culture camps throughout the year for their youth. Some of the things Huslia has experienced in the past that I have learned from the family, my friend Belina and her family, that allowed me to ask questions and shared with me about stories passed down from the elders about their ancestors. And some of the trauma that they experienced is when the Episcopal missionaries came into Huslia. The missionaries came in and did speak with the elders and asked for permission to help educate their youth. And of course, the elders of Huslia and the community members want better education for their youth, and so of course agreed. With that came change, mostly negative, from what Belina's mother shared with me. The missionaries would not allow the children to speak in their native tongue while attending school or in their presence. Children's names were changed in school. Children were not allowed to have tonsils. Belina's mom, now considered an elder, remembers the missionaries giving strict orders to their parents to not feed them before attending school. When they arrived to school, they were put to sleep using chloroform, and they had their tonsils removed. A scary story that goes along with that, Belina's mom, her sister, had eaten before she attended school that day and almost did not wake up. And so thankfully she did. But that was, part of the historic trauma with her. She said she has never been so scared in her life. When children turned into teenagers, when it was time to attend high school, they were sent away to live in boarding homes with strangers. Usually they were sent to the bigger cities, North Pole, Fairbanks, depending on the location of Alaska you were in Anchorage. And they were put into boarding homes to live with families that were unaware of their culture. They didn't know, and they were often bullied by the individuals in their boarding home, kids on the bus, school bus drivers, teachers. And she also explains she was frightened, and it's a time that she would never forget in her life. Belina and her mom's name is Arlene, educated me on different types of culture camps in Huslia. In the summer, there are fish camps. In the fish camps, youth are able to learn how to pick berries, make baskets, gather supplies, fish, dry fish, tan hides, hunt, cook, and garden. In the winter, they hold camps also. In the winter camps, they teach the youth how to trap animals, become familiar with reading animal prints in the snow, cut wood. Huslia is also home of the legendary dog musher, George Etla. George Etla holds dog mushing camps for the youth of Huslia. Mr. Etla teaches the youth how to become dog mushers, how to take care of their dogs, train their dogs. Arlene discussed the loss of their culture with every generation. There are parts of her culture she does not remember because of being taken away from home at a young age. It is known that Russian explorers entered Huslia, but Mrs. Arlene has not heard stories from the elders about what happened during this time. There are several families in Huslia with Russian bloodline now, including Belina and her family. I asked Belina if her children attend culture camps, but sadly, because of pricey airfare, they are unable to visit home as often as they would like. Belina shared with me to fly back to her home, Huslia, from Fairbanks. It's $400 a ticket. I also met an individual named Ed, who was from a different village above the Arctic Circle, and he shared with me, and that's on the Canadian side, that it cost $700 for him to try to fly back home. So luckily there are resources available in Fairbanks and other bigger cities. For example, University of Alaska Fairbanks teaches their native tongue of Koyukon Athabascan, and it holds events to honor their heritage. And so I thought that was pretty awesome. And Belina and Arlene and their family really appreciate that. So living in a bigger city, their children get the better education than what's available in Huslia, and they also have a way to stay connected to their roots. I wanted to share this. This is something Belina and her family are incredibly proud of. Honoring the unknown First Families. Belina's family is listed on this plaque. Jimmy and Mary Farmer are her grandparents, and within the other names, cousins and aunts and uncles are listed as well. And this is something their family is incredibly proud of. They visit the Golden Heart water statue quite often, and so I wanted to share this just to represent, how important family is to them, and their traditions and their culture, and holding on to that, and just, wanting the opportunity to keep their traditions going, their culture going. Belina's family shared with me, that, Belina, she doesn't know a lot of her native tongue of Koyukon Athabascan. She knows, a couple words here and there. Her mom speaks it fluently, but not as well as her grandmother. So over the years, trickling down, the language is becoming lost. Belina's daughter and 2 sons do not know any Koyukon Athabascan words, nor that much of the traditions, because living in Fairbanks in a more the more the traditions seem to fade and they don't practice it as much as they would like. But she definitely is saving up to start flying her kids back home to attend culture camps. And her family invited me to to visit Huslia in the summer 2014, where I can also participate in a culture camp, the summer culture camps, which I am going to do. I'm very excited about that. I wanted to take a minute to recognize Belina's family and thank them for allowing me into their home and to share their culture. They also shared very personal stories with me, which I did not include. Um, they're an amazing family. Made me feel comfortable, and um, I just wanted to take a minute and appreciate them and show some pictures of their family that they gave me permission to use. The older gentleman dancing with the girl in the green jacket, that's Belina's daughter, and that's her uncle. And they're at a one of the events to honor heritage. I cannot remember the name at the moment. The little boy fishing is her son, and he is fishing on a river back home. And then Belina and her youngest son are pictured next to him to the right. And then you have Belina by herself that she took to add to my presentation. And then you have Arlene, who is in the red shirt. That's Belina's mom. And then the last picture they shared with me are pictures of their ancestors in Huslia. I believe Arlene is the little girl in the picture, and family members. And so I really appreciate them sharing so much knowledge and with me, and I really want to take the time to appreciate that and give thanks to them. I really enjoyed taking this class. I have learned a lot, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. The culture camps are really interesting to me, and I do plan on learning more because I feel like I don't know as much as I would like to know about culture camps and how effective that has been to individuals that no longer live in their village. You know, if they're able to get back, or how often they have events like that in town where they can attend. But it was nice interacting with everyone throughout the semester, and I hope you have good holidays. Thank you.